it's not a common phrase to hear someone say, you know, I'm really excited to go to Nebraska. But how bad do you want to go? How bad does this team want to get to Omaha?
Yeah, going to Omaha is a way of life. I just, you don't get there because you play well in one tournament. I think it's a way of life. And I remember in 2007 walking into the locker room, speaking to the team before that Game 3. I had lost 2 years earlier to Texas in Game 3. I had lost the year before to Miami in Game 3. So my wife was a nervous wreck that morning in the kitchen about to face Game 3. You either win and go to Omaha or you lose and the season's over. But what I learned and felt a calmness about me, a peacefulness about me, was that the compound effect had taken over. These guys had put in the work. The journey was unbelievable. The challenges they faced and they overcame, and they were such a fun team, mentally tough team to coach, and you saw it on that day. I mean, I think we put up 3 touchdowns and carried this city to Omaha. So, but it reminded me as a coach that it's about what you do in the summer. It's about what you do in the fall. It's how you go every day approaching the game of college baseball. And if we do all that, and if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. And I think there's a fine line between saying winning a national championship is our number one goal, and let's throw strikes. Let's make routine plays. Let's just not stick out our chest because the guys the year before, 2 years before, 3 years before did it. That's not how you get there. Saying you want to get there is not how you get there. I think the quote on the practice schedule the other day was, "Who you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear a word you are saying." So don't tell everybody you want to go to Omaha. Live it day in and day out. By who you are and what your actions are.
How do you deal with all the conference reshuffling and stuff? How does that come up in recruiting?
Yeah,
So it could be
I've enjoyed it. At the end of the day, we'll be in the best place for the University of Louisville. I mean, you just feel confident that Tom Jurich is driving the bus, and it's all going to work out. Right now, we're in the Big East. We love the Big East. I mean, the Big East has been great for us. Our kids travel to major cities. They get to do some unique things that they might have never done before. When we go to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia and New York and Tampa, Florida. When you look at adding Houston and Central Florida, we now go to Orlando and Houston, Texas. And I always say the Big East, it's a big league conference. You want to play in the big leagues? Well, enjoy going to the Big East cities because they're the same as the big league cities. But if we were to move, and you hear the rumors, it looks like on paper it would only be a boost for baseball. But when you hear the rumors of what league or leagues we could end up in, I look at baseball. I can't, evaluate all the other sports, and I go, and they got some good baseball teams in those conferences. So it will only help. Either way, baseball's getting better in the Big East. No disrespect to the schools that are leaving, but the commitment that the schools that are coming in, I know they make a great commitment to baseball, and if we end up somewhere else, I know those schools make great commitments to baseball. So I think it's only been a positive, for us.
Not just here, but around the country as well. How much do you think last year was defined by teams who did or did not understand the impact of the new bats, and what does that mean now for this year?
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from programs that had success last year because, I thought Ray Tanner had a similar philosophy that we had at South Carolina, and he handled the new bats and won another national championship. And I thought our systems were very similar. So there were coaches who were able to make the adjustment. Now, they had different personnel and things like that, but there was clearly a sign of teams who played a certain style of baseball benefited immediately from that. I mean, the game played into their style. They liked to bunt and run, and they were very good at defending the bunt, and in those areas we were not great at. And so it affected us. The reality is now, we can't fool ourselves and act like we're the only ones who are prepared. I think everybody is now more prepared. I think everybody's gone back to the drawing board. I can't speak for every program in the country, but I'd like to think several tweaked their systems like we did. Now, some didn't have to tweak them at all. More power to them. I mean, they were playing what I call a National League style, and they love that style, and it's worked for them in the past, and boy, it worked for them last year. You know, I always say, we played an American League style, and so that style just didn't work for us, especially with young hitters. It didn't work for us, and so now we're more prepared for that. So I kind of like the challenge, to be honest with you. You know, I'm very competitive by nature. As tough as last year was at times, and as disappointing as it ended, I'm as excited about this season as I've ever been. You know, I'm hoping people doubt us. I'm hoping people took the bullseye off our chest or off our back. I'm hoping they take a deep breath when we roll into their stadium, because I'll say good luck. You know, that's my belief. Because really, going into last year, you know, there was a bullseye. It meant something when we walked into your stadium, and when teams walked into ours, you know, they were coming after us. And so, you know, I challenge our kids. You know, we'll always be hunted because of who we are and the commitment we make to baseball, but enjoy being the hunter, you know. Enjoy going out there and getting after that other team and jumping on them and winning the first. And don't just assume because you have Louisville across your chest that someone's going to roll over or feel intimidated. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but, you know, our kids have to go out and be the hunter first, and then I'm sure, you know, the bullseye hopefully will just get bigger and bigger.
Anything else before we go to practice here? We good?